Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind the scenes footage, bonus episodes, shoutouts, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. This episode is brought to you by Thoughts from a Page podcast.
That's the one hosted by Cindy Burnett, right?
Yes.
Ah, that's a great podcast.
Yes, they're also celebrating their 120th episode by Thoughts from a Page podcast.
Yeah, I just, what was the one I listened to the other day? It was Emma Brody wrote a book called Songs in Ursa Major. Songs in Ursa Major. It's about James Taylor and Joni Mitchell.
Yes, it's great. I listened to that too.
It was amazing how they got together, and then how she wrote the book and wrote all the songs for the book and everything else. And I think she wants to turn it into a play or a movie.
Yes.
But it was a great, the podcast was great.
Yes, and I could actually see, by this, I could see Isla Fisher playing the role of Emma Brody.
Yes.
Right?
Well, Emma Brody's the author, but
yes.
Yeah, why not?
No, I know.
I think it'd be great.
I'm just looking at the picture right now.
So they've got about 123 episodes so far, released a few a week. And she takes one book per episode, has the author on, has read the book, and they're basically the books that Cindy likes. And it's a great, great podcast. I definitely recommend people listening to it.
I do too. I listen to it. I love it. Thoughts from a Page podcast.
This episode is brought to you by LearnWorlds.com. Did you know that creating an income online or adding a new revenue stream to your business has never been easier? Have you ever considered taking your knowledge, skills, and expertise and converting them into a course that you can sell online? Introducing LearnWorlds. LearnWorlds makes it easy to create, host, and sell beautiful online courses that have an impact. Go to learnworlds.com/free to start your 30-day free trial. With LearnWorlds' intuitive platform and a wealth of resources to educate you, you're only a few steps away from building a thriving online business in the booming knowledge economy. That's learnworlds.com/free for a 30-day free trial. Again, learnworlds.com/free.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Good. You look different.
I know. I have my things in. I have these great Invisalign. I'm not getting paid to say this.
They're not a sponsor?
They're not a sponsor. That I actually, they say how.
Oh, keep talking like that.
I can't go out.
Oh, they're stuck? Are they glued? Well, this is apparently not a commercial for Invisalign.
It's my own spit. It's not that big of a deal. But the thing is, I have the greatest dentist, and he's in Westlake Village, and his name's Dr. Ty. And
uppers and lowers?
Sorry.
All right, I'm going to,
Here's
just
the
so
thing,
you
though.
know.
Don't edit it out, because the truth is,
I will not edit it out. It'll be blurred, but I'm not editing it out.
It's fine though, because I personally, I'm not advocating for anybody else, but I personally have waited too long to get these. They have helped fix my bite. I have horrible TMJ, and Dr. Ty and I discussed it, and he just modified it ever so slightly, and my jaw does not hurt anymore. My teeth are getting straight. Like, I highly recommend them for anyone. I mean, every case is different, especially with TMJ, but I've had it my whole life.
Did you have braces?
No, I didn't have braces, but my teeth have been moving because I grind so much. And I found Dr. Ty in Westlake Village in
stress, by the way.
I know, in Los Angeles, and he has literally been a lifesaver. So thank you, Dr. Ty. I really appreciate it. And my teeth are moving.
You should tape your mouth shut like Meryl Hemingway does.
Okay, well, you know.
And then also do it while you sleep.
Until you can't breathe any longer.
You can breathe through your nose.
Okay. Well, anyway. Dr. Ty in Westlake Village. He's just my dentist, and he has now.
So for all of our listeners in Westlake Village, go to Dr. Ty. How do you spell Ty?
Well, we're in Los Angeles. THAI. He's great. He's wonderful, and I used to wake up literally with jaw pain every morning,
really?
and I wear these throughout the day too, and so Again, this is not a paid sponsorship. I'm just saying, I can't say enough about it. My pain has gone away, and my teeth are getting straighter, and the hills are alive. Anyway,
This episode is brought to you in part by bailbag.org. That's bailbag.org. Founded by Aaliyah Cruz,
former inmate and now a teacher in local juvenile detention centers and state prisons. Bailbag.org provides recently released inmates with a duffel bag filled with essential items to help them rejoin and become a productive member of society. The items include a long-sleeve shirt, undershirt, black pair of pants, Oxford shoes, water-resistant rain jacket, body wash, shampoo, conditioner, toilet brush, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, razors, a full-zip tracksuit, running shoes, all in a large duffel bag, plus a planner or journal equipped with a list of local resources. The recidivism rate of recently released inmates is approximately 65%. With bailbag.org, that rate will drop significantly. Please visit bailbag.org and donate whatever you can to help this worthy cause. What are we doing today?
Today we actually have another special Q&A show, questions and answers, because we have had a lot of people write in. They loved the Q&A.
By the way, this is a milestone episode for us.
It's a milestone?
Yes, this is our 48th episode.
What?
It's a very good milestone for us.
That's amazing. 48. That was my, do you know how much of a milestone that is?
That's 4 dozen.
I played soccer for 10 years and that was my number for 5 of them.
48 was?
48 was my number. So that actually used to be my favorite number, and it is still. And so this is wonderful, Bob, that I get to share this moment with you.
You blew that whole bit. I had this worked up in my head like it was going to be so good. I was going to say, this is our 48th episode. You go, wait, don't we celebrate 50? And I go, no, why celebrate 50? It's just as arbitrary as 47 or 52 or whatever else. And you just went, that's great. You're negative all the time. And this is the one time you're positive on something I say, and you blew the bit. We need rehearsal. We need to do, you know, all the talk shows and all Saturday Night Live, and they all do rehearsals so that you can say, wait, that's crazy. Anyway.
I just wish that everybody could see your face because you really are hilarious.
Oh, I wore this shirt for you, see?
Star Wars?
Yeah, it's the Star Wars Last Supper.
That is genius.
Isn't it?
Yes. Inya?
Inya?
That's so great. Yeah. I love that, Bob.
Thank you.
I love that, Bob. I love Bob. Right. We do have a question and answer show because a lot of people have been writing in and asking questions. And so we did compile a list of questions for you and a list of questions for me, I guess. And so.
Right. Now, to be sure, these are the questions that people have asked us through email, not through the comments.
Yes.
We'll get to the comments maybe in 10 or 15 episodes. We'll do another one with the comments. So if you're interested, you want to know anything about us, write in the comments or send us an email. What's our email? Cory1. Well, it's on the screen below you.
It's not Cory1. It's Cory at the Coriolis effect, I believe.
Cory the Coriolis. Well, whatever it is, it's on the screen in front of you.
You check it.
I know, but how many times do you, okay, so it's like your own phone number. Other than giving it out, how many times do you call your own number, right?
This is true. Right. Yes.
And now I used to know everybody's number by heart, and then the auto dials came in, and now it's like, you know, it's like, what's your friend's phone number? Bill. You know?
Do you know that I remember my phone number from grade school? It was 818-829-4884.
215-ME5-4321. The ME's because in the old days when they had horse and buggies, phone numbers were by region. So ME was from Melrose. So it's ME5. Oh, wow. My grandmother was Howard 8, HO8. Yeah, see, the first 2 letters were from the area where you were.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That was before my time.
And you know, phone numbers used to have 6 digits, not 7, yeah, when they first started up. And
Sorry,
then before then,
cutting me off.
Like Green Acres, you call up and you go, Ethel, get me Bill Johnson over the store.
Plug in.
No. And actually, if you go to the Reagan Museum, which by the way is a great, great tour.
It's amazing. I've been there.
They have the phone switch operator that Reagan used, well, not Reagan used, that people used while Reagan was in the White House. And this is 80 through 88. And it was like a 1950 switchboard with the 1/4-inch plugs, and they would turn all the way up through 88.
How far we've come?
The White House and the Senate and the Capitol building, they're all the last to improve on technology.
Yeah.
Because the government, and if you walk through the Capitol now, there are thousands of wires grouped together running in the top of the hallways because it was built 100+ years ago, and they can't run the wires through the walls because they're solid masonry walls. So yeah.
Wow. So it's still very archaic, huh?
Yeah, but you see all the technology running through the hallways and stuff. So,
wow. Yeah. And it looks so much smaller, doesn't it?
It is. It is smaller than what it looks.
It seems so much bigger. I remember when I went to the White House, it seemed so much smaller. And then when I also went to London and I visited the palace, I was like, where is this grand palace? Because the photos, the aerial views and the way they shoot it, it just seems so big. And I'm not saying it's small, but it just seems bigger than it is.
Well, you know, everything's like that. When you watch all when I used to watch The Tonight Show and Conan and Letterman and stuff, when you go on their set, it's really small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just don't realize it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you sit at the chairs of the desk, you don't see the audience. You just see bright lights in your face when they're filming.
TV land. This is true, boob.
Oh, thank you.
Well, so
Okay,
let's
so
get to it.
questions and answers.
The questions and answers. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go
I
first?
want you to go first.
Okay, Bob.
Here.
This is from Carol in Minnesota. What would you say your greatest achievement is?
Oh, my 2 kids, Jonathan and Samantha. It took me a minute and a half to make each one of them.
Okay, Carol, I know that's a lot more information than you wanted,
but
and I probably wouldn't
I had to put up with my
that.
first wife who cooked them for 9 months.
That's enough.
But
listen, the best way to love your kids is to love their mother. So I know you appreciate her, but you're hilarious.
You can't love everybody. And sometimes people do things that are not deserving of your love.
That's true.
So, and what I find is, though, if you always take the high road, which everybody wants to do, sometimes you get taken advantage of. And you and I have plenty of stories of getting taken advantage of.
All the time.
So once in a while, you got to stick up for yourself. But my greatest achievement is Jonathan and Samantha. Jonathan is going to be a senior at Duke University.
Wow.
Samantha is working now for the Boys and Girls Club and also Starbucks. 2 jobs. She works from 5 a.m. till noon at Starbucks, and then works 12:30 to 6 at the Boys and Girls Club. And starting August, she goes back to school in Santa Barbara College. And so, yeah, she's doing very well.
Well done. You just want your kids to be good, contributing people in society. And you know what? Well done. So, okay. Thank
Cory.
you, Carol. Great question.
Anne doesn't say where she's from, says, are you in any upcoming movies or television shows?
Any upcoming movies or television shows? No, I'm just doing the podcast right now because we've been in...
We have one. You have Heaven. Not Heaven, I apologize. Motivation.
I'm sorry, that's already been shot. I'm sorry. Motivation will be coming out, yes.
Probably about a month, maybe a month or 2.
In a month, which I played a attorney in that role, and that was very fun for me. It was just a small side, role, but I really did enjoy it. I had a great time.
With our friend Angus Benfield.
Yes, Angus is awesome, by the way. I'd work with him anytime, Angus. And I am currently writing a film that I will be starring in very soon too, and that more to come on that. Okay. But yes, so that's really it. But thank you for that question. It's a great question. I don't, the industry has changed considerably,
very much,
especially so much in the last year and a half since COVID. And so there's a lot of great shows on, but then I'm not sure, a lot of these actors are coming out of Australia, which I am a fan of. But I haven't filmed anything.
Well, the industry
other than this
has changed a lot. And I just had lunch with a producer yesterday, and he said it's really the industry is turning away from the independent producers.
Yes.
And they're doing things. I mean, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO. They're all doing their own content, but their business structure is basically, we've got a great movie, we're going to make it ourselves, or we'll pay you to make the movie, and then we own the movie. So the days where you can make a movie, put it out there, and then make 5 or 6 times your budget, they're not there.
Or you can finance your own project, get it in the can, edit it, and have it done, and then they'll license it or purchase it from you.
Yes, but the problem is it's a big risk.
Yeah.
So it's one of the businesses where you do something and then you spend $1 million or $2 million making a movie, and then you hope to gosh somebody picks it up and buys it.
Right.
And it's different. In the 80s, you would go get your foreign film sales first. And these guys, well, if you make this movie, I can distribute it. I'm going to give you $500,000 right now. And that's how you'd make your money to make the film. And then you'd make your money on domestic, whatever you did, and you have your money back. Now it's a problem. And what people don't realize, and everybody says, well, they made this movie for $1 million and it made $2.5 million at the box office, so they made money. No. You have to make if you're going to release it on the theaters, you have to make between 3 and 4 times the budget before you break even.
Yes.
Because always remember, if you make $1 million at the box office, the theaters are getting half of that. So you're only getting half, and then out of your half, you've got a distributor which is taking 30%.
Yes.
So really, you're only making, you get 50%, 30% out of that. Now you're down to 35%.
Yes.
So it's a minimum of 3 times to get your money, but also you have to pay the P&A, which is your advertising costs, and you have to pay somebody to put the movie on a hard drive, the DCPs, and send them out, and that could be $20,000, $30,000. So it's 4 to 5 times your budget before you break even.
And it's interesting because everything has an ebb and flow, and the pendulum always kind of sometimes swings too far to one side or the other. It'll always kind of go back or even off, but was at the end there, people were just getting exorbitant amounts for the leads, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. You can't sustain that for any length of time.
Those days are gone.
Because now you can make a great looking film for 1.5 million,
right.
And you can't have one actor absorbing 20 million of the 1.5 million budget. So it's kind of interesting where it's headed. I'm excited to see what happens.
By the way, a very good friend of mine, Ken Olant, who was an actor in the 80s and still acts today, but he was in Summer School with Mark Harmon. He was in Leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston. He was the lead.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot, and he said when he was producing movies in the 80s, he met a very, very well-known producer. I can't think of the guy's name. And he went and asked him, he said, what's the goal or what's the key to make a good movie? And the guy looked at him, he said 3 things. He said, hire the best DP, director of photography you can find, hire a completely unknown cast, and make a horror movie. You will never lose money doing those things.
Yeah,
and horror movies, I knew a woman, Tanya Watts, who I represented, and she would make these horror movies, the Scarecrow series. She'd take 40, 50 people, crew and cast, run them up to one of these camps for 30 days, make a movie for 50 or 80,000, and then go sell it worldwide for $300,000-400,000.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna make a fortune, but you will be working. Ben and I have decided we're gonna go out and put together a company that basically says to people, we will either come in with finishing funds, as you have like 75% of your budget, we'll come with the last 25%, or we'll fund smaller projects. And the deal is, all we want our money back first, and 20%, and then you can have the rest.
Yeah.
So we're not interested in making a fortune on the movie. We just want to be paid back with a little bit extra so that we can keep doing this, so that movies get made. And then, if the movie makes $100 million, we'll get something. But the idea is to get people to make movies. Yeah.
I should have negotiated that deal better.
All you needed was above 10 million, you get $1 per.
I know.
$10 or whatever. You'd make.
I know, but you know what? Save someone or help someone's life, money. I'd rather help someone's life. So.
Okay, next question.
Yes. Was it my turn to go for you?
It is your turn to ask me.
Okay, so Bob, this is from Tom in Nevada. Tom T in Nevada. I don't know that. What motivates you?
Just in general?
Yes. I don't know. It just says what motivates you.
Honestly, and this is somewhat narcissistic, making people happy.
That's not narcissistic.
Yes, it is, because
That's so kind.
No, it's not. Everything you do is narcissistic, and I'll explain that in a second. But I get a high when other people enjoy something that I've done for them, and it's not like I want to, be the basketball star and put the ball in a hoop and everybody love me. My life is when I get to do something that people appreciate, and usually it's directly for them. Which is why I do the movies and podcast stuff, because I like people to like my work. Now the flip side is if they don't like it, I take it very personally, but. That's not, but no, I enjoy helping other people.
I love that little head thing. There it goes.
I enjoy helping other people. I enjoy, which is why I got into law.
Yeah.
And why I got out of law.
You're really good about that.
Nobody was appreciative. It was not a tough business because I was very good at it, but it was just, you're fighting with everybody all day long.
Yeah.
You're fighting with judges who, honestly, half the judges are great, half of them don't know anything. Every lawyer is, they're unreputable, they're unscrupulous, and they all lie and cheat and steal. And I hate to be like that because I'm one of them, but it's true. And I've been in court where I've seen lawyers lying, and I know they're lying.
You know they are. Oh,
and
I've seen them
judge,
lie.
Your Honor, I'm watching this guy lie, and they get so upset at you.
Yeah.
And then the clients love you in the beginning.
Yeah.
And at the end of the case, when the bill comes, they get mad at you, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to sue you for the." Just pay the damn bill.
I know.
Darn bill.
I know.
But no, I like making people happy. I like doing things, and there's nothing anybody asks me that if I can't do.
No, you're always so kind to do that.
But that also gets me taken advantage of, as you know, we've been taken advantage of by a certain group of people.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Well, okay, well that's interesting. Fun fact. What motivates me, honestly, on a daily basis. I mean, obviously, I could say my daughter. I love her, and I just, heading into the next phase of my life with her is exciting. She has been my main motivator for the last 22 years. But I think the same as you, just somehow we get thrown this thing called life, and it has ups and downs. And if we can learn from it and help others with that, then that motivates me. And doing good things. I mean, we started this whole podcast, I'll say it again. We started this podcast so that we could help people understand that there are two sides to everything, whether it's the left or right or God or not, or whatever it is, whatever the case is, there's two sides, but at the end of the day, there's a common goal, and that's to love one another regardless. And so, I think we share in that concept, and hopefully we've been able to, translate that somehow with this podcast. And we'll continue to do so because I really think it's important, especially right now, to stay united.
I was looking for wood to knock on.
I'm all, what's he doing? So I digressed, but that's the same. That's my same mantra throughout this entire thing, hopefully.
Okay.
So is it my turn?
Yeah, it's my turn. Juan from Mexico City. Juan's question for you from Mexico City. Whose dog is Tinks?
Oh, Tinks is
She ran out of the
Bob's.
room.
Tinks is Bob's dog, and get this. Thank you, Juan. That's a great question because Tinks makes an appearance every now and then. And Tinks is half German Shepherd and half Chihuahua. God, enough said.
There's a picture right by you. Yeah.
And so sweetest dog.
We still haven't
ever.
figured out how those two got together.
Oh my God, I'm trying not to get the visual on that, but sweet dog, very, very, very sweet dog. Always comes in and greets you and so lovely. But thank you for that. It's a good
Do
question.
you know that pet breeders, and I'm going to say this eloquently, when pet breeders breed dogs, they take, one of the common practices is to take pantyhose and wrap the two dogs together so they can't separate.
Yikes.
And the reason they do that is because if the male exits too quickly, it could really hurt the female because of the way the male is built and the way what happens when the male is in the middle of it.
This show's going.
So I was thinking that, assuming that the female was the German Shepherd and the male was the Chihuahua and they tied them together, that Shepherd would just get up and run away, and that little Chihuahua would be on her back and couldn't get up and just take the ride like a taxi.
All right.
Yeah,
but
so.
Honestly, I'm good. I could have gone the whole show without knowing all that.
I did a trial on a horse that was having problems, and
I'm
the
done.
horse.
We're good.
No. So you want to hear the story? But it was a problem with the horse could not be a stud because there was problems with the horses in its semen and stuff. So I had to depose 3 experts in the field of horse breeding, and they gave me a blow by blow on how you artificially inseminate horses and stuff.
It's
and it's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, but that's a whole other show. Just FYI.
I suggest everybody go on YouTube and see how people breed horses. It'll be pretty interesting. But it's not a family event.
Is it my question or
It
your
is
question?
your question for moi.
Okay, so I've actually, Robert from Florida. Other than the Coriolis effect, what's your dream job? Thank you, Robert. That's amazing.
An actual job, or can I make up a job?
No, I think we want to know the truth.
Well, I'd be like an astronaut, or I'd
Really?
love to be in space
Really?
Yeah.
You would go up into space if you could?
in a heartbeat.
Seriously?
In a heartbeat,
It's
if I
like
was
things you don't
capable and
know.
eligible, and not only would I go up an International Space Station, if they had a trip to Saturn or Mars or wherever, go. I'm
Are you
with you.
serious?
I'm older now, but it's something I've always wanted to do. Is travel in
Wow.
space.
Wow.
So, but I want to do it like, I want to do it like Star Trek, where you're in a ship and you're walking around and you're not, weightless and stuff. But I would love to be in space.
Okay. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we all know what your dream job is because you talk about it every 10 minutes.
Oh, but since you're asking.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you tell everybody again what your dream job is?
Well, I would really love to be in a band, a worship band or country music band, and just travel the world and tour. I would just, it would be the whole second part of my life. So I just keep putting it out there, and then until then I'll just continue to karaoke in my kitchen, or my car or wherever no one will listen.
Now, let me tell you the reality about that life. And I know a lot of touring musicians.
Mm-hmm.
It's great while you're in your 20s and 30s. But if you have a family, these guys, they leave home for 4 or 5 months on the road.
I know, but
it's
I can
horrible.
do it.
And now you can do it.
Yeah, I'm totally free.
Yeah.
I'm free.
And
to
it's
do it
fun
all.
for the first year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, no.
But
I
after
know.
that, it's like, what city am I in?
I mean, I'm not saying like 365 days. I'd like to put out a few songs, go here and there, and just
do
show up and
40
do
shows a year.
Yeah, not a lot, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's your turn.
My turn. Miran, M-I-R-A-N, Miran, says, Cory, do you have any makeup tips?
Oh my gosh, I do.
That'd be a whole show.
That's a whole show. I can do a whole show on makeup tips. I did
Have you
makeup.
makeup Irina?
Yes, that's a great idea. I did makeup, for many years. So I believe I'll give you the number one tip. Mirren. Just in this case, less is more, as I sit here with my red lipstick on. But I think, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of men right now, they don't necessarily like a lot of face makeup. It's just that cakey, makeup-y look.
Right.
It's great for photos and maybe if you're getting married or weddings or something like that. But at the end of the day, most men, I used to do weddings, I used to do hair and makeup for weddings, and most brides would say to me, my husband does not want me looking like somebody else walking down the aisle.
Right.
They don't like all that caked on makeup look. They like that fresh, clean look. That's the consensus, the majority.
As much as I hate to say this for women, because I know you think it looks good, men don't like it.
They don't.
Men don't like the super long eyelashes.
They don't.
Men don't like the huge lip. Well,
They don't.
let me put it this way. The men that do like that, you don't want any part of.
Right.
Because
And-
usually those men are very controlling.
Well, it's
and
very
very,
surface and
yes.
very,
Right.
physical. But, you happen to be married to a gorgeous woman who I've seen who wakes up and doesn't need a single solitary bit. But makeup tips are all subject to the individual. Everybody has a different face. Everybody has had different shapes. But I will say this, your eyebrows are the first thing that you should outline on your face.
Okay.
It sets everything else. You don't really need a lot if you have a nice brow. And then,
Two.
I will
Definitely
nice
want
two
two.
brows. But the rule of thumb too is if you're going to go heavy on the lips, stay light on the eyes. If you're going to go light on the heavy on the eyes with makeup, you go
Princess
light
Diaries,
on the lips.
when she said,
Oh, I'm not sure. I was still giving my
no, sorry. No. Well, I want to stay on the eyebrows. Princess Diaries, when she said, and the eyebrows, there should be two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We exhausted that joke.
No, I keep going.
Anyways, those are a couple makeup tips. I would say this isn't really as makeup, but always exfoliate your skin. You create new skin cells.
Well,
and
it's good. You need a good foundation.
You really do. And, the clearer your skin and the more exfoliated and the better it looks, the less makeup you kind of use. So I could go on and on about makeup tips. That's a great question. And
Well,
having
the key
been in that
point is
industry,
that less is more. I mean, makeup is meant to accent certain
Yes.
features. It's not meant to cover over.
yes.
You don't want to be Mimi from Drew Carey's show.
Right. Yes, that's awesome. Yes, exactly. Well, okay, fun fact.
Yes.
To this point, I did a movie called Basketball. And they put blue eyeshadow on my eyelid. And I have a huge eyelid in general. Like, it's just very difficult. I don't need, if you put, a lot of eyeshadow on my eyelid, you're just going to see it. So in this movie, I have like blue eyeshadow on my eyelid and then burgundy lips. And it was just way too much.
You had the blue dress too, right?
Oh, wow.
No,
Somebody
remember.
watched that. Yes,
Yeah.
I wore a blue dress.
Well,
so,
it's on the screen right next to you, but yeah.
yeah, it was. It was a cult classic, that movie.
Right.
It was
That was a
definitely
great
one
movie.
of the funnest movies. But, and it was David Zucker who did Police Academy and all those great movies. That was the director. But in general, I look back at that and I'm like, why didn't I say a little lighter on the eyeshadow or the lips? So,
Was that your first big movie?
no.
What was the first big movie?
Big movie was, I believe it was Chairman of the Board with
Okay.
Carrot Top. And then it was Dead Man on Campus.
Oh, those two good movies. Okay.
And then Basketball.
Basically.
So, yeah.
Run a small business? You don't have to ship your own orders. Fulfill Right can take care of order fulfillment for you, saving you time, money, and stress. That means more time doing what you love. Delegating grunt work, like shipping to someone you can trust, is a secret to business success. Fulfill Right is the most trusted name in order fulfillment, and the reviews back this statement up. Fulfill Right has 5 stars on Shopify, Google Reviews, and Trustpilot from over 100 businesses just like yours. Boost customer satisfaction and scale your business faster with a logistics partner that feels like an extension of your team. Services include same-day shipping, real-time order and inventory tracking, dedicated customer service, and volume-based discounts. To learn more about how Fulfill Right can help you grow your business, go to fulfillright.com/Cory to get $100 off when you sign up. That's fulfillrite.com/Cory. Reclaim your time so you can scale your business by going to fulfillright.com/Cory. We want to take a minute and talk to you about Expressvpn. Most people don't know that your internet provider, many websites, and even apps collect all of your data and then sell it to whoever's willing to pay for it. They know what websites you visited, what products you've bought, what products you looked at and did not buy, and some people can even copy your passwords and usernames and then access your private accounts. Expressvpn encrypts all of your data and sends it from their servers, so no one knows where you are. With Expressvpn, people may think you're in Bangladesh when you're really in Chicago. They would think you're in South America when you're really in Detroit. Expressvpn protects you from hackers who try to steal your information, and also from spies who try to use your data for their own nefarious purposes. Expressvpn also allows you unrestricted access to all parts of the internet. How does it work? Expressvpn uses the best-in-class encryption. Whenever you are connected to Expressvpn, every piece of data going in and out of your devices goes through a securely encrypted tunnel and cannot be seen. Not by the government, not by hackers, not by your internet service provider, not even by Expressvpn. Expressvpn also employs IP masking. Every device has a unique IP address, which can be traced back to you. When you use Expressvpn, your connection gets routed through one of their 3,000 plus servers, hiding your real IP address and replacing it with one of their own. This allows you to browse the web truly anonymously. With servers in 94 different countries, you have a wide variety of places you can choose to appear from. Expressvpn also provides 24/7 customer support with live chat, which means your question will be answered within seconds, not hours or days. It is also one of the easiest apps to use. Just open the app and with one click, you're protected. It is also physically impossible for any of Expressvpn's servers to store logs of any customers. And Expressvpn is a top-rated VPN provider, rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, Wired, TechRadar, and many more. Just go to expressvpn.com/Cory to get 3 extra months free with a 12-month plan. This is a limited time offer for the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver listeners. Again, get 3 months free with a 12-month plan. Go to expressvpn.com/Cory. With ExpressVPN, you can protect all of your digital devices, your computers, your phones, your tablets, everything, and have no more border restrictions. Again, that's expressvpn.com/Cory.
Okay, so my turn. This is, I don't know if I should say this name, but okay, for the lack of, and interesting.
What, you going to say the name? You're not going to say the name?
Donald from Florida.
Okay. I don't think it's that Donald from Florida, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know. The question says, what is your view/opinion on our current political situation? Hey.
There's going to be a lot of spelling in this answer. I am a true-to-heart libertarian. And I usually vote on the right because you never have a libertarian candidate who can take the presidency, and I don't like wasting my vote. But I always believe in less government. And I believe that the government is necessary.
You mean that the people should?
No, I think government should not be as big as it is, anywhere near as big as it is.
Right, that the people should be. We, the people,
the states,
should. Yes.
The states should control 90% of your lives. Because then you get to pick what state you live in.
What state you live in.
But the federal government is absolutely necessary for interstate roads and for military and for foreign relations and even for setting policies that help the people who can't help themselves. I get all that. And for making, anti-discrimination laws and all that stuff. But they go too far. And they want to be involved in everything. I'll give you a perfect example that I learned years ago when I was in law school. The federal government can only do what it is permitted to do in the Constitution, okay? It's called the enumeration clause. So if it's not in the Constitution, they can't just make a law. And it has to be one of the enumerated powers that they're given. And I was reading this case, and it was a farmer who, I think he raised like broccoli, and he drove it a mile down the road to sell it. Well, there was this federal regulation that controlled whatever it is, and he didn't want to abide by the regulation. It was too costly for him, and it really didn't apply to him. So the federal government came in and fined him and said, you can't do this. And he took it up to the courts and lost, and it went to the Supreme Court. And he said, the federal government has no right to make a law that deals with me, growing something in my farm and going in the same state. And the court came down and said, it is interstate commerce. His response was, I'm not traveling across a state line. They said, no, but you could. So therefore, we have the right, this government has the right to make the law. So what they have done over the years is they have taken the most broadest possible interpretation of that, and anything possible, they say the states can come in. And I'll give you another perfect example, is California and New York, when everybody's leaving those states, and they are losing billions of dollars of tax revenue. So they came out and said, we're going to issue what they call clawback things. It says, if you live in California or New York and move to another state, we're still going to tax you income tax in our state for the next 10 years. And in my mind, that will be challenged and overturned in 5 minutes, because if I don't live in California they have no right to tax me.
Mm-hmm.
And the day I leave
Mm-hmm.
permanently, their authority to tax me stops. They can't say for the next 10 years, but they just do it. And there will be people who won't complain about it and pay the tax, and people who no. So my views are less government. Not no government, less government.
Right.
Well, less federal government.
Starts out with we the people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, right.
But the state, people don't realize it. The Civil War was about states' rights.
Yes.
It wasn't about slavery. It wasn't about anything like that.
That's
it was the South saying we're controlled by the North because there's more people in the North.
Right.
They're voting in the president because of the amount of people and the amount of votes they have up there. So we need to control our rights. Anyway.
Thank you, Donald from
I'll flip
Florida.
it back to you. What's your political take on life?
Honestly, that's a whole other show too. I'm very sad where we have ended up currently with the current political climate. I again started this show so that we could hear both sides, and we have already been, as we know, we've had things cut out. So
we've been slapped around a few times.
I just feel like, I really do honestly feel like whether you liked our former president or not, that things have declined considerably since he has been cut out. I'll use that. Mm-hmm. There's another word for it, but I don't really want to say it. But since he's been cut out, that should have let everyone on both sides know that that's a preview of coming attraction. So I could go on and on about it. And
that's the rule. If we don't like you, we don't even want to hear from you.
But that's not the American way.
No.
And so, good or bad, we had established a semblance of freedom in this country based on, like my daughter says, people died for this freedom.
Yes,
people died and continue to.
Willingly
died and continue to. So I'm just trying to, me personally, I'm trying to bring some peace and some kind of joy and unity back to the people. But I don't know, with what I see happening on a daily basis, if people don't start to stand up and fight for the freedoms, then they will be taken away. And is it my turn or your turn?
It's my turn to ask you. Yes. Julia from Germany.
Ooh.
All right, Cory. I don't know if this is a good question for you.
Oh,
but
no. Oh, no.
And this is how to make a man do what a woman wants. I guess it's how do you make
it. That's so scary. You're asking me.
Who would ask Cory that question?
I have the answer. No idea.
I have the perfect answer.
What is it?
You watch whatever Cory does and do the opposite.
Do the opposite.
Yeah.
Or is that a joke?
No, I'm dead serious. This is a question.
That's so great. Julia, I absolutely love and adore you. And I'm so grateful that you even took the time to write in a question to us. But I really, truly, honestly don't have an answer for that, as I have not been successful of that. But that's okay, because there's always time. And if you, Julia, have any tips for me,
or anyone else has any tips for you.
Actually, I just, the thing about it is, it's like I was raised that like the man is the leader, and, but then as soon as I have like one little thought or I just get nixed. So I guess maybe you should start out just being, I don't know what the answer to that question. It's a great question. And I would take, if anybody in the comments is watching this, please comment below on what it takes for, what was the question again?
How to make a man do what a woman wants.
That's like a book. Is there a book?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
How to make a man? I need that book.
There's Cosmo.
No.
Every month they put out a book.
I know.
I do have the answer to that question, though.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
Starts with pick the right guy.
Well, clearly I haven't, but it's fine.
If you pick the right person, you won't have to make them do what you want.
This is true.
I hate to tell you, if you feel like you have to make them do what you want, you have not picked the right person.
Guy. Okay, great advice.
Irene and I argue all the time playfully and stuff. And sometimes
it's cute.
But generally we know we're going to do what the other person wants us to do.
Yes, it's very cute. You guys are very cute. And very funny. But that's a great question. Okay, well, all right. I'm going to go with Irina. This is from Kyle from Tennessee. Ooh, Tennessee. We'll see you soon, Tennessee. Yes, actually, it's a good time. We're going to take a road trip and go to Tennessee, and we'll have some on the road footage. And in
August, which will probably air in September.
And it should be a fun trip. We are going to visit a lot of our Tennessee friends, and a lot of musicians, and we'll maybe even do a little karaoke at the local karaoke bar. Santa's. Remember Santa?
Oh, yeah.
Hillary Williams talked about Santa's. So very excited about that. This is a question from Kyle in Tennessee. Bob, you seem to have a definitive point of view in general on general subjects. Do you think, what does that say? Do you think men should be allowed to, what does that say? I can't even see that.
Did you read your own writing?
No, I didn't write these. I just copied them from
that's what I'm saying. You copied it from the thing, but you can't read what you wrote.
No, I can't. I have to go back and look at that email.
All right, we're going to take a break. Go back. Did you remember or decipher what you wrote?
Yes. So it says...
I'm sorry, what you copied from the guy who sent you the email? We should just print out the emails because then you can read it in typed version. You could be a good doctor.
I'm going to scratch this question.
I like the question. I have an answer to it.
What's your answer? And then I'll
ask the question first.
Can you just say what the answer is?
Was this Jeopardy?
No, we'll go back and edit this all out.
It was something like, well, do you think, you seem to be always sure of what you say.
Okay.
Right? Do you think a man should, what? Agree to be wrong? Can a man
Yes, agree to be wrong.
Okay, so ask that question.
Okay, so Kyle from Tennessee, you seem to always have a definitive point of view in general on subject. Do you think that a man should allowed to agree to be wrong?
Okay. I want everyone to think about this logically. If you are always honest with your opinions, you are never wrong because you're saying what you believe. And here's the argument. You and I have two different points of view. Mm-hmm. If it's an opinion, it's an opinion. You can't be wrong in an opinion. Yes. Right? But if it's as to a factual topic, I will state what I believe to be true. You'll state what you believe to be true. If I'm always honest with myself and I'm right, if I say, you know what Cory is saying makes more sense than what I'm saying, then I immediately adopt your position and then I'm still right.
Right.
So as long as you're being true to yourself and you're not intentionally lying, trying to trick somebody or whatever it is,
right,
you are always right. What you have to do, though, is be willing to recognize that somebody else is either more right or thinking, and then immediately adopt their viewpoint and you're back to being right again. Because the only time you're wrong is when you're lying, when you're intentionally saying something that you know to be untrue. And this is not me saying I'm always right. I am always right. But this is not me saying I'm always right. This is me saying I always say something that I believe to be true.
Yes.
And then when somebody says 2 + 2 is 5, I believe that to be true. No, it's 4. You're right. 2 + 2 is 4. Now I'm right again. So if you have an open mind and can accept the fact that other people's viewpoints should be adopted by you if you like them, then you stay right.
Okay.
Right. And my first opinion is not always the right one. Mm-hmm. It becomes the right one after discussion, which is why I like discussing it with people and why I like watching so many shows on whatever it is.
No, I get that. Well, there's two parts to his question, I guess. That's why I kind of got it mixed up because he also said, Kyle from Tennessee said, and what is your biggest fear?
You mean like spiders and stuff?
Well, he said, and then you always have the phobia words. So what is your biggest fear?
If you're talking about like a physical fear, it's height and
height.
Fear of heights.
Wow.
I can't think of the name of that on the screen below me now. I have a debilitating fear of heights. When we Irina and I were in Chicago, went to the Sears Tower and they had a little glass we could step over.
Oh, that's hard.
Take the picture.
Can't do that.
And you've seen me, I literally hung over the Grand Canyon when I was a kid and I have pictures of it and stuff.
Oh, can you put that on here?
Yeah, it's right up here. Yeah. So that picture, which you're seeing right now, was I was 21 years old and I did that. I had it blown up and I sent it. I gave it to my mother for Mother's Day that year. And you can see the OP shorts and what you wore in the 80s, because I think that was 80. God, that had been 86 or 87.
That's pretty bold, though.
Yeah. So funny story about that is, you see how my legs are locked under the rail?
Yes.
And my buddy Chris was taking a picture, and I said to myself, I'm going to make this a better picture. I'm going to unlock one of my legs, hold it out, and just, lean back. And I remember this like I was there now. My brain said to my leg, unlock, and my leg said, nope. And there was like this 30-second conversation between my brain, my leg saying, unlock, and my leg kept saying, no, I'm not doing it. And I could not get my leg to move.
Isn't that funny, though?
Yeah,
Your
my
body
leg
knew.
would not,
It was actually in self-preservation and protection mode,
Right.
and it said no.
And, and I would love to interview a psychologist or a psychiatrist and say, because it's two parts of your brain. One part of your brain is trying to be funny, and the other part, the self-preservation part, is I'm not doing that. Get out of here. So, do you remember the show Herman's Head?
Yeah.
With they had 4 guys in his head that were controlling. Yeah. The one guy, let's do this. Nope, we're not doing that. But it was, I mean, I've never been paralyzed, but it was as if I was paralyzed. I could not get my leg to move.
And you have smart legs.
Yeah. Thank God. That's why I'm still here. Yeah. Every day my right leg ought to say, oh, thank me.
Yeah.
All right. But no, in fact, let's have a psychiatrist because I want to ask him that question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
In the next 5-10 episodes, we're going to book a psychiatrist.
Because actually that kind of goes with their checking your spirit too. I always talk about that, and it's like your spirit was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah, it's just, right. And one of my nightmares that I have very often is I'm on the top of a mountain, I'm at the precipice or the very peak and looking over, and I'm like, either in my car or walking, I'm about to fall over either way, and then I wake up. But yeah, heights drives me nuts. And I try to combat it. I try to climb up tall ladders, put the Christmas lights up. My legs shake. I just can't look down. So.
Ooh, I know, right?
But now that being said, I want to go skydiving. I want to go on a hot air balloon. Did you tell me the story about the hot air balloon?
I did go on a hot air balloon.
Did you tell me the story about the hot air balloon?
Probably not.
And recently,
no.
5 people died in a hot air balloon. They hit a power line.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Where?
I'll have to get it and put it up. But it was recent, last couple of weeks.
Because I've been to that whole in the hot air balloon festival, and yeah, it's beautiful.
First of all, hot air balloons are very safe traveling. It was the guy driving the hot air balloon screwed up and drove him into a power line. So I'll get it and we'll put up the article. But yeah,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. All right. I have a question, and this is from Irina from downstairs. She says, Cory, would you ever or would you like to go blonde?
You know what? It's funny. That's a great question, Irina. But my hair is way too light right now. I'm not a good blonde. I don't look good blonde. I usually put highlights in my hair just to give it some dimension, but it's too light right now even. So that is a no.
Have you ever gone blonde?
No, I actually have not. Because even when it gets too light like this, I go, oh, it's not a great color for me. Some people can pull it off, all these different hair colors, and I just can't. I'm Italian, and so that I have that green.
Blonde Italian, Sicily.
It just depends on the blonde, but I wouldn't do my whole head blonde. I have blonde highlights, but I would not ever go fully blonde. So that's a great question.
Who was the newscaster in LA that had dark jet black hair but had the streak?
I love her. I don't remember her name, but she's.
Right. That was a great look for her.
It's great
was almost
for her.
like, and look, she was beautiful. It was almost like Frankenstein's bride.
Yeah.
With the line. Yeah.
Yes, she's gorgeous. I can't remember her name. I can't remember.
Will you do an episode?
Is this from?
No, this is from me. Well, this is from Bob sitting next to you. Will you do an episode with a blonde wig or part of an episode with a blonde wig?
Yes, I actually did. So what's funny is on Beverly Hills Pawn, all 3 of us, they had us dress up like Marilyn Monroe. I was a terrible Marilyn Monroe. In fact, that solidified the fact that I did not look good as a blonde. But I put that wig on and I was like, no bueno. But yes, I'll do it. Depends on the cut and the shape, but I will do a whole episode with a blonde wig.
Okay, we'll go wig shopping. There's a wig store on Thousand Oaks Boulevard.
Yes, I will do that. Okay. I will do the whole, and we'll see that I will prove the fact that I do not look good as a blonde.
Okay, but if all the comments come in, you look great, then you have to go blonde.
I won't go blonde, but I'll wear the blonde wig.
All right, $100 million movie. And
we're actually going to wait to see the comments about my ponytail because I contacted my producer this morning and said, hey, hair's dirty. I have the text to show. Can I please, I said, can I please wear a ponytail? And I got an emphatic no. And so, of course, I didn't listen to him and I wore it anyway.
I'd like you to show the text because I have the text too. And it didn't emphatically say no. It said, we'll lose viewers.
That's right. No pressure. And I was like, oh.
First of all, that ponytail looks good. You look good.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So anyway.
We'll see. All the viewers comment on her ponytail.
Yeah.
And wash your hair next time.
Okay.
But it looks good. It doesn't. It looks really good.
Whispering like they can't hear you. Okay, so this is from Clarice. Don't know where she lives. Just says Clarice. Will you, or Clarice, I'm not sure. Bob, will you ever be on camera?
In this podcast?
Well, yes.
Yeah, obviously we're going to have to do it eventually. Maybe on our 100th episode or something.
Okay, 100th episode. Yeah. It's funny because I've already have things out there that we've talked about that you would do and that you haven't done you'd have like singing or something.
Yeah, they got lost on the editing floor. What we could
Funny
do...
how you produce and edit.
I mean, I could set up a camera in the corner for an episode and see how the shot looks.
How about if we do that when I wear my blonde wig?
Okay, and we'll do that.
Perfect. Wonderful. Next question.
Cory, Mark from Parts Unknown.
What's Parts Unknown?
He doesn't say where he's from.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a new?
Yeah, there's a city called Parts Unknown.
They're creating it.
Population 1, Mark.
It's down the street.
You never heard Parts Unknown?
So I got to tell you a funny story. Okay. This is my daughter, and she's hilarious. I was at a wedding, and we were having the best time. And I said, oh, honey, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go leave. And my hotel was down the road. And I said, I'm leaving. And I said, and she said, no, how did I say it? I'm going to mess this up. I said, it's just down the road. And she goes, Mom, let me back up. This wedding was in the middle of nowhere. It took forever to get there. So it was like in the middle of nowhere, and it took a long time to get there. And I looked at her and she said, Mom, do you know what's down the road? And I said, what? She said, more road. And the way she said it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so right. She's so true. She has such a funny sense of humor. So anyway, what was our question?
My daughter did that when she was little. We were at soccer, and I was taking her from soccer to a party. She was 8 years old, and she goes, Daddy, I have a full plate today. I said, what? She goes, yeah, I have a soccer game and a party. And I said, Sammy, 2 events in 1 day is a full plate? She goes, Dad, I have a small plate.
And then they're so literal. That's cute. That's cute.
All right, Mark from Unknown Parts USA.
Sorry, Mark.
Were you... I'm trying to think of how to say it. He says, were you this pretty in high school, or were you pretty in high school? So I guess it's this pretty. Were you this pretty in high school?
Oh, that's so kind. I don't know even how to answer that question. High school, I was awkward and got teased a lot. I have some high school photos I could probably give you that will explain. But I just got kind of teased and stuff, you know?
Teased because you were a bookworm, or teased because...
Teased because I was a prude. Teased because of my facial features, big eyes, and just horrible about the lips. And they just would tease you a lot.
Yeah, but did you think you were pretty?
No.
Because of what they said?
I just, my mom always would say to me, smart is as smart does, pretty is as pretty does. So it's not like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's beauty in everything and everybody. So when you define pretty to me, I think everyone's beautiful. God, if, the Bible says we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So in his image. So to me, there's no pretty or not pretty. It's like everyone's beautiful.
Do you believe, honestly, there's beauty in everything?
I do.
Okay.
I see it.
What about picture 4, the Rorschach test?
Picture 4 of the Rorschach test is a castle. And there's beauty in the castle.
Okay, good. You always say you don't like the way it looked, but you can find beauty in that, right?
Well, I mean, you can if you do look at it, if you do look for it. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. All right, so...
Just, you got to think of it as like art. Art's not meant to appeal to everybody. Some people can look at the Mona Lisa and say it's a painting
true,
of a girl.
that's
Some
so
people
true.
can look at it and say, oh my God, it's amazing. When I see art that is like paint splashes all over the place, I find that fascinating. And I love pictures like that. Some people say somebody just squirted paint on a yeah.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you do.
Yeah.
There was a great episode, remember Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks?
Yes, I love that show.
He was an artist in the show, and he was doing his art, and everybody hated his artwork, which was really good.
Yeah.
And then they had this picture, this white background with a red circle in the middle. And he's like, oh, well, what do you think about this? And the critics, oh, it shows the infinite serve this, and it shows, oh, it's amazing. He goes, it's the flag of Japan.
Yeah.
And that was it. But what people see in that is, they see it. Yeah. Some people like minimalistic. Some people like a picture of big lips behind them, and they think that's artwork.
Well, they're there because I did get teased in high school, and that's a perfect reminder of, like, they teased me about my lips in high school. And, at that, if somebody's just tuning into our show for the first time, my partner and I have a lip balm company, and we decided to use my lips as the seal. And it's a reminder that, it's just...
Also shows everybody that teased you in high school. By the way, I love stuff like that. I love when the girl gets teased in high school and then becomes Victoria's Secret's model and everybody's calling her up going, oh,
well, let's
sorry,
just be clear. I'm not
sorry.
a Victoria's Secret model, but you know, it's all, beauty is all subject to one's own interpretation, as a movie is, as a song is, as a piece of art is, like you said. It's a very good point. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate your sweet comment. But no, my answer is no. In high school, I was a little bit teased and awkward. I still kind of get teased and awkward.
You get teased now?
Oh yeah, but that's all right.
Who teases you? What's their name?
People do. They just
Give me their
do.
name and address.
There's nobody's, you know. I won't say which one it was, but my ex-husband said some pretty cruel things to me.
Yeah, but
so
you know, that's, if you're going through a divorce and you're speaking to a
it
guy
was
who's going
when we
through
were
1,000
together.
of them,
We weren't going through a divorce.
That's a control thing.
Oh,
When somebody
it
says
is?
something like that, it's because you won't do what they want, or it's like a threat. I get clients all the time, they call me up and say, my husband or my wife threatened me, and I say, look, anytime somebody threatens you, smile. Because what they're telling you is they can't get what they want unless you give it to them. Because if they could get what they wanted, like if the guy says, I want full custody, or I'm going to, if he wanted full custody, he would just go get it. When somebody threatens you, it means they need you to give it to them. Yeah, you know, so the mobster, tell me where the money is or I'm going to shoot you in the head. Yeah, they need you to tell them where the money is because they can't get it without you. If they didn't need you, they'd shoot you in the head and go get the money. Okay. So threats are always somebody saying you have more power over them. And that's why their instant animal reaction is, give it to me, I'm going to hurt you. Or give it to me, I'm going to do something. So anytime somebody threats, you understand that you have the power.
Interesting. Great breakdown.
Thank you.
Thank you. That just saved me like 6 more years of therapy.
Yeah, right. That'll be $150.
No problem. Okay, so the next.
Really, am I going to get $150?
Is it my turn?
It is your turn to question me.
Okay, so I have Jenna from Iowa. Says, what's your dream car? What a great question. I love that.
I have a completely different viewpoint on cars than most of America.
Okay.
I never believed in fancy cars. I don't believe in fancy handbags. I don't believe in fancy watches. I think if you spend more than $100 on a watch, you're an idiot, unless you have $100 million. I think spending $10,000 or $20,000
but even
on
then,
a
you
handbag
could like,
is, you're nuts.
Exactly.
But
those days were over, by the way.
I always have practical cars. I mean, they're nice, but I never had the sports cars. My midlife crisis was I played hockey 7 nights a week for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I have I had a Yukon Denali for years, and now I have a GMC, or I have a Ford Expedition. I always liked big cars for several reasons. One is I do a lot of things. So if I play,
You're in a band.
Hockey gear, I want to put my band equipment in it. I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to haul stuff and stuff. And I'm not into like 4x4 trucks or things like that. I like big cars that are inside, and I like to be comfortable in them because I drive a lot. I never liked the Mercedes, the short Mercedes, or the 2-seater BMWs. And first of all, they're unsafe.
Yeah.
If I get into a car crash with anybody, I'm walking away from that crash. When Jonathan was 4 and Sammy was 2, I had it was a Lincoln Navigator, and our babysitter Bonnie, or nanny Bonnie, was driving the 2 kids in that, and somebody cut a red light and smashed into them, and all 3 of them were fine. And Bonnie was like, I said, look, as long as the kids are fine, that's why we have big cars. If she was driving a Toyota, one of my kids could have been killed. So I believe in big cars. Yeah, I try to keep them clean.
What's your big dream car? I mean,
Hummer.
Okay, that's all we needed to know.
Well,
that's all we need.
No. First of all, why answer a question in 2 words when you can answer a question in 1,000 words?
When you can take the whole show to answer
so now,
the question.
before I met
Hummer, they don't make those anymore.
I dated somebody who lived in 310, which is one of the many reasons why I don't date anybody or talk to anybody who has a 310 area code phone number. But
you're pointing at me.
Isn't your phone number 310?
No.
Oh, it's 818. Sorry. You look like a 310. I call them 310ers because they're very entitled people. But we went out on like 2 or 3 dates, and she
that's
said,
judgmental. But we'll strike that from the record.
I'm sorry, 310ers are not protected class. I can make fun of 310ers all I want. This woman said, you need to get rid of your car. You need to get a BMW or a 2-seater Mercedes. And I said, why? She goes, well, when you drive up, you need to impress people with your car. And I said, no, I impress them with what I say while we're talking. I don't need to impress people with my car. And that was the last date we ever went on. because I realized that she was just, all she cared about was style.
Yeah, who cares about that?
And
Yeah.
when I see a guy in his 40s or 50s driving around in these Ferraris or these Lamborghinis and stuff, if it's one of 4 cars you own, fine. But if that's your car, in my opinion, sorry, you're an idiot. Because one is, well, how do you go to Home Depot and bring anything? No, I think people who have that only car, how do you bring back something that you're going to, you want to go get a shelf, you want to go get anything?
Really, if you're driving that kind of a car, you have people go to Home Depot for you. No?
Well, then they're double idiots because Home Depot
I'm not going to call anybody
an
idiot. That's their choice. That's their, prerogative.
You're an idiot.
Are you calling me an idiot?
No, the guy with the Lamborghini's an idiot.
Stop calling people names. Okay.
It's not anybody you know.
Okay, well, Hummers are,
Hummers are big. The problem with a Hummer is if I sit next to you, see how far apart we are now? That's how far apart we are.
I've never been inside of a Hummer, but they don't make them anymore.
Probably not.
No.
They went to the Hummer 2s.
Yes.
But I rented one for a week, and it's the widest car out there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't been in
You can't reach out and touch the person next to you. It's so big.
Right. Okay, so moving on.
But anyway, my cars are big cars that
Hummer.
are safe and that look good.
Jenna, he likes the Hummers.
He likes the Hummers.
So.
Do you understand what you just said?
Yeah, you want I don't even know who makes Hummers.
Bob likes Hummers?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll tell you what that means off the air.
Well, you just told me that was your favorite car.
It is.
Okay, well, can you carry on now?
Yes.
Is it your
It is my turn.
Okay.
I got one more. Well, I got the question that you already asked. When will we see Bob? Javier.
Let me answer that. Javier, okay.
Javier says to Cory, and I have to rephrase this for him, is, do you incorporate God into your everyday events? Like, I assume he means that when anything happens to you, do you immediately bring up God and think about whether God did this or how God is involved in this or something like that?
I mean, I feel like I try. I fail miserably on a daily basis, probably, as his daughter, my Heavenly Father's daughter. But I mean, I try.
What do you mean by fail?
Well, I mean, I fall short of his glory, I'm sure. I'm not perfect, but do I incorporate him?
That's not the question. The question is something like, for everything that happens to you during a day, as soon as an event happens, do you immediately think, is this God's plan? Did God have anything to do with this? Why is this happening?
I don't immediately. Oftentimes I'll think, I'll see things or a sign and I'll go, oh my gosh, that's like, God telling me something or speaking to me, or I'll have that check in my spirit or that voice that I feel. But not every little single solitary thing do I go, that's, sometimes it's not God. Right. I'll say there's another team too. And sometimes I go, that is not from God. But anyway, that's a great question, Javier.
But you fall into a trap of everything that good happens to you is from God and everything that bad happens to you is from the devil.
I don't. I don't think like that either.
Because, sometimes God does bad things to people. Look at Job.
And the truth is, we're all tested in some way. We all have a test, which I've said before, becomes our testimony. We all have a mess, which invariably ends up becoming our message, right? And so if we can take what God or whatever is thrown at us and apply it and understand that, we all also have our free will that can sometimes go against God. You'll see the beauty and the good and the bad. And
okay, so let me ask this, because I've always struggled with this question. If God is the all-loving being, why does he feel the need to test us?
That's the $64,000 question. As a parent myself, I don't sit there and, jot down, okay, I'm going to test my daughter today and see if she can handle this, right?
Right.
Like life happens and we all have our own choices and our own free will. And I make choices and then I suffer the consequences based on the choice that I made. But I have given her a blueprint. I have given her tools. I have given her everything I know to make good decisions, I feel. And so I feel like God has given that to me. And so what I do with it will dictate the rest of my life. It's not necessarily like, I'm in this big game, although it feels like it sometimes, of, life, literally. And he's just up there going, how can I test Cory today? That's not the case. I mean, I have gone against my grain on several occasions.
He does test people.
Of course,
So
he
what's the
tests
purpose of
people,
testing?
but I don't
Why
think
can't he just let us live our lives and
You know,
Why did he test Abraham with?
that's a great question. Would you have ever sacrificed your son?
No. So
Me
I
either.
never would have passed that test. I just said, sorry. What I honestly would have said is, if you are God and if you're telling me to kill my son, thank you. I'm going to the other team. That would have been my answer. If the devil is saying I don't have to kill my son, that's where I'm going. And if it was because I don't know what to test. And right there in my mind, I have to say, this heavenly being is telling me to kill my son. No chance. Whatever the devil takes from me is fine if my son gets to live.
But you know what? You're right. And you and I could never fathom what God has sacrificed for us, which was his son.
And my other thought was,
there's no way.
God doesn't want somebody who's going to kill their son. So that would be the alternative. And I'm sorry, I would have failed that test in 2 seconds.
Among others.
Yeah. Failed many a test in my life.
I have more questions for you. So
Okay, go ahead.
I have Dave from Mendocino. Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
Period.
Once
Done.
with
That's great.
my lovely wife. No, there's no word-one answers in life. Yeah, we were in South Carolina. My wife and I took horse riding. I mean, I've done it before. Once I did it in Mexico with ready for glue horse. Like it was a big U-shaped horse and my feet could touch the ground. But the one with Irina in South Carolina was actually cool because you're riding around and then you see alligators and you're right. Horse doesn't care. Horse will right past the alligator because there's no way an alligator is going to attack a horse.
Yeah, no.
So.
My last question, because it looks like you have no more questions for me.
No, I'm out.
Okay, well,
yes,
the show's all about you, Bob.
No, I planned on this episode to run 57 minutes and 48 seconds, and we're at that
mark. This one's from Irina from downstairs, Westlake. Where did you hide the crackers?
And we're out of time.
Thank you so much for joining on this episode of The Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver and Bob Victor.
To answer that, when we go to the store, my wife and I each buy a box or two of crackers, and then we each wind up eating a box, and then we don't have any. So we decided a year ago we'll each get our own box, and we'll eat our own box. But it doesn't matter, because as soon as my box is gone, she eats out of my box anyway.
Hilarious.
But I learned I had to hide my box. So one day we're in bed, and it's a night we're watching TV, and she says, I want some crackers. You have any? Yeah, I have some. She said, go get them. I said, all right, stay here. So I went out and I got them, but then I walked all around the house, opened every door and shut every door, so she didn't know where my hiding spot was. And when I came back in, the first thing she said was, you walked all around the house, so I couldn't find your hiding spot. And I go, yeah, that's exactly what I did. Because she would hear where I am in the house. Cut to about 6 months later, our kitchen had flooded and we had to get a whole new kitchen. So the guys are in there pulling everything out of the kitchen, and they're going to the compartment over the stove. I said, that's all right, guys, I'll clean it out. And the guy said, no, I got it. I said, no, I'll clean it out. He said, I got it. And he opened it up, and there were like 3 boxes of crackers there. And Irina's like, ha! So now I got to find a new hiding spot.
That's hilarious. Your contractors outed your cracker.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I'll also give you one where, we try to keep the air conditioning on because it gets hot here.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 thermostats in our house, upstairs and downstairs.
Yes, it's hard to regulate when you have 2-story.
Right. But when my daughter lived here in the room, which we were podcasting, she would put the heat on 85 or the air on 60 and stuff. So I learned to you can pull the thermostat off the wall and then put it back in.
Wow.
So I would pull it off, and they're exactly the same upstairs and downstairs. So I would pull it off, and we'd keep it in my room, and then I'd put it back on when Sammy went to school. I went away for a week, and Irina pulled off one of them and hid it. That was 2.5 years ago. She still hasn't found it.
Oh.
And if you notice, we go downstairs, pull it off the wall, put it on the wall upstairs and everything. So we're missing one of our thermostats because Irina hid it, and to this day, she has no idea where she hid it.
Maybe Sam took it with her.
Yeah. No. Sammy would put it on the wall and use it.
Oh,
but there's only so many places it could be. Obviously, it's in the bedroom somewhere. She literally cannot find it.
That's funny. You'll find it when you move.
Yeah, find everything when you move.
Well, you know what? I just want to say thank you to all of you who wrote in and all of our supporters, and we love you and we are grateful for your questions. So we appreciate you.
Is that it? We're done?
No, I heard birds.
I don't know if it's birds or it's the wind coming through the air conditioning, like a squeak. I think it's the air conditioning. Do you hear it? I don't hear it. What do you hear? Yeah.
Do you hear it? Okay.
I think it's a squeak on the air conditioning.
Anyway, thanks, Bob.
All right, we're out.
The Coriolis Effect is produced by JS Productions, with host Cory Oliver, producer-editor Bob Victor, and assistant editor Cade Bombsell.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching the Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.